Welcome, dear friends. Imagine walking through life with a heavy backpack on your shoulders. Inside this backpack are stones, each one representing the weight of your worries, your stress, your fears, your regrets, and your pain. It's exhausting, isn't it? Yet so many of us keep trudging forward, believing that the solution lies in learning to carry this burden better. But what if the answer isn't in carrying the load, but in letting it go entirely? Today, we'll explore a profound teaching rooted in Buddhist wisdom, the art of letting go. This timeless lesson has guided countless people toward a life of peace, clarity, and freedom. It's not just philosophy, it's a way of life that can transform the chaos of our modern world into a harmonious existence. Think about your own life for a moment. How much of your mental and emotional energy is spent clinging to the past, worrying about the future, or holding on to things you can't control? In Buddhism, this clinging is known as attachment, and it's one of the main sources of our suffering. The Buddha taught that true happiness comes not from gaining more or achieving more, but from releasing the attachments that tie us down. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or running away. It means recognizing what no longer serves you and choosing to release it with compassion and understanding. It's about stepping into the present moment, free from the weight of those stones in your backpack. But how do we do this? How do we practice the art of letting go in our daily lives? The answers are simple, yet profound. Meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection are powerful tools that can help you see your attachments clearly and begin to loosen their grip. Start by taking a few moments each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice what you're holding on to and ask yourself, is this helping me, or is it holding me back? Another key practice is forgiveness, both for yourself and for others. Holding on to resentment is like adding more stones to your backpack. Forgiveness allows you to set those stones down, freeing your heart and mind for something greater. It's not always easy, but the peace that comes from forgiveness is worth the effort. Letting go is not a one-time act. It's a journey, a practice that unfolds over time. Some days you'll find it easier than others, and that's okay. What matters is your intention and your willingness to take the first step. As we conclude today's reflection, I want you to imagine this. You take off your backpack, place it gently on the ground, and walk away lighter, freer, and more at peace. That's the gift of letting go, a gift that Buddhist lessons and wisdom offer to all of us. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. May you find the courage to let go of what no longer serves you and discover the peace that lies within. If this message resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights rooted in timeless Buddhist wisdom. Until next time, take care and be well. Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a flowing river, gripping a branch with all your strength. The current rushes past you, pulling harder and harder, yet you refuse to let go. You tell yourself that holding on to this branch is the only way to stay safe. But in reality, the tighter you cling, the more exhausted you become. Now imagine what would happen if you simply released your grip. The current would carry you not to harm, but to freedom. This is the experience of attachment, and it's one of the core teachings in Buddhist wisdom. In our lives, attachment often shows up as the relentless pursuit of desires, the belief that if we could just have this one thing, achieve this one goal, or fix this one part of our lives, we would finally be happy. It's an endless chase, like running toward a horizon that keeps moving farther away. Buddhism teaches us a different path. It shows us that happiness doesn't come from holding on tightly to desires or chasing after them. Instead, it comes from letting go of the belief that external things can complete us. This doesn't mean you should give up your dreams or ambitions. Dreams are beautiful, and they can inspire us to grow and create. But the wisdom lies in recognizing that achieving those dreams isn't what defines your worth or your happiness. Clinging to the idea that you'll only be happy when you achieve something, when you get the promotion, when you find the perfect partner, when you buy the house, keeps you trapped in dissatisfaction. The first lesson of Buddhist wisdom is this: happiness is already here. It's not something you have to chase, it's something you uncover by being present. How do we do this? By cultivating gratitude and mindfulness. Gratitude helps us shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have. Take a moment to reflect on your life right now. Can you feel the warmth of the sun on your skin? Can you hear the laughter of a loved one? These simple moments hold the essence of joy, but we often overlook them because we're too busy reaching for the next big thing. Mindfulness teaches us to slow down and truly experience life as it unfolds. It's about being fully present in each moment, without judgment or expectation. When you practice mindfulness, even the smallest acts, like sipping tea, listening to the wind, or feeling the earth beneath your feet, become sources of peace and contentment. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean you stop caring or dreaming. It means you free yourself from the illusion that happiness lies outside of you. It's about realizing that life is enough, just as it is. And as you loosen your grip on those branches you've been holding on to, you begin to flow with the current of life instead of fighting against it. As we close this reflection, I invite you to consider this. What are the branches in your life that you're clinging to? What desires or beliefs are keeping you from fully experiencing the peace of the present moment? Letting go is a process, not a single act. It takes time, patience, and self-compassion. But with each step, you'll feel lighter, freer, and closer to the joy that's been within you all along. Thank you for being here and sharing this journey into Buddhist lessons and wisdom. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights that inspire peace and clarity. May you find the courage to let go and discover the happiness that's already yours. Until next time, be well and stay mindful. Imagine a child at the beach, hands covered in sand, building a beautiful sandcastle. They pour their heart into it, shaping towers, carving moats, and decorating it with shells and pebbles. But as the tide comes in, the waves wash it all away. Does the child cry or give up? No. They simply smile, gather more sand, and start again. This simple yet profound moment captures the heart of Buddhist wisdom, the practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring about life or the things you create. It means you engage fully, give your best, but understand that nothing is permanent. Life, like the sandcastle, is always in motion. When we cling too tightly to outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Stress often arises from rigid expectations, the belief that things must go a certain way for us to be happy. But the Buddhist lesson of non-attachment teaches us that true happiness comes from embracing life as it is, not as we think it should be. Think about your own life for a moment. How often do we struggle against reality, wishing things were different? We hold on to relationships that have changed, jobs that no longer serve us, or dreams that may not be aligned with who we are now. This clinging creates suffering. But when we practice non-attachment, we learn to adapt, to flow with the natural changes of life. It's not about giving up, it's about letting go of the need to control every outcome and instead showing up fully for each moment, just as it is. Non-attachment is deeply rooted in mindfulness and awareness. It begins with observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When something doesn't go your way, notice the frustration or sadness that arises. Instead of fighting it or letting it consume you, simply acknowledge it. In this awareness, you'll find space, a moment to breathe and choose a response instead of reacting automatically. Another important aspect of non-attachment is gratitude. When you let go of rigid expectations, you begin to see the beauty in what you already have. The simple joys, a kind word, a meal shared with loved ones, or even the sound of the ocean, become sources of contentment. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, helping you release the grip of dissatisfaction. Forgiveness is also a powerful tool for practicing non-attachment. Sometimes we hold on to anger or resentment, believing it protects us, but in truth it only weighs us down. Forgiving doesn't mean you condone what happened. It means you free yourself from the burden of carrying it. As the Buddha said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Letting go through forgiveness is an act of kindness to yourself. As we wrap up this reflection, I want you to picture that child again, joyfully, building a new sandcastle after the tide has washed the first one away. They don't dwell on what's lost or worry about the next wave. They're fully present, creating, laughing, and living. This is the gift of non-attachment, a life of freedom, peace, and resilience in the face of change. So, what are the sandcastles in your life? What expectations or outcomes are you holding on to that may no longer serve you? Take a deep breath and consider letting go, not with sadness, but with grace and understanding. In doing so, you make space for new beginnings, for joy, and for the beauty of the present moment. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Buddhist lessons and wisdom. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who might find comfort in these teachings. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into mindfulness, peace, and the art of living fully. Until next time, may you walk lightly, live mindfully, and embrace life with open hands. Picture yourself sitting quietly on a park bench, surrounded by the gentle hum of life. The world moves quickly, people rushing past, phones ringing, conversations blending into a distant murmur. Your own mind may feel just as busy, filled with endless thoughts and worries. But then you take a deep breath. You feel the solidness of the bench beneath you, the warmth of the sun on your face, the breeze carrying the scent of blooming flowers. In that moment, you're no longer lost in the chaos. You're simply here. This is mindfulness, a cornerstone of Buddhist wisdom, a practice that invites us to live fully in the present moment. Mindfulness isn't about emptying your mind or shutting out the world. It's about becoming deeply aware of it, without judgment or resistance. It's the practice of observing your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings with gentle curiosity. In today's world, where everything moves at breakneck speed, mindfulness offers us an anchor, a way to slow down, to pause, and to reconnect with the simplicity and beauty of life. In Buddhist lessons, mindfulness is often described as remembering, to come back to your breath, come back to your body, come back to this moment, because it is the only one that truly exists. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, but here and now, life is unfolding. When we live mindfully, we discover that even the smallest moments can hold profound joy and meaning. The way sunlight dances through the leaves, the aroma of fresh coffee in the morning, the laughter of a child. But how do we cultivate mindfulness? It begins with intention. Set aside time each day, even just a few minutes, to practice being fully present. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. Your mind will wander. That's natural. When it does, gently guide your attention back to your breath again and again. This simple act trains your mind to stay in the present, to observe without becoming entangled in thoughts or emotions. You can also bring mindfulness into your daily activities. When you eat, truly taste your food. When you walk, feel each step. When you listen to someone, give them your full attention. These small, intentional acts of awareness can transform your experience of life. One of the most profound teachings of Buddhist wisdom is that our thoughts are not who we are. They are like clouds passing through the sky, ever-changing, temporary, and beyond our control. Mindfulness helps us step back and observe these thoughts without letting them dominate us. Instead of reacting impulsively to stress or worry, we learn to respond with calmness and clarity. Practicing mindfulness doesn't mean life will be free of challenges. Difficult emotions will still arise, but mindfulness gives us the tools to face them with compassion. Instead of resisting pain or trying to escape it, we learn to sit with it, to acknowledge it, and to let it pass in its own time. This acceptance brings a deep sense of peace, even in the midst of life's storms. As we close, I invite you to take a moment right now. Pause whatever you're doing. Take a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath you, the air around you, and the life within you. In this moment you are alive. This is the gift of mindfulness, a simple yet transformative practice that connects us to the present, to ourselves, and to the world around us. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of mindfulness and Buddhist wisdom. If this message resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from these teachings. Don't forget to subscribe for more reflections on the art of living fully. Until next time, may you walk gently, breathe deeply, and embrace each moment. With an open heart, imagine standing in a serene bamboo grove, the wind brushing through the tall stalks, causing them to sway gracefully. Unlike the mighty oak, which stands rigid and unyielding, the bamboo bends with the breeze, moving with the force rather than against it. When the wind dies down, the bamboo straightens, unharmed, ready to stand tall once more. This is the essence of acceptance, a core teaching in Buddhist wisdom. In life, we often face winds of change, unexpected challenges, loss, and moments of uncertainty. Like the oak, we sometimes resist, clinging tightly to how we think life should be. We fight against reality, wishing things were different, longing for control over what we cannot change. But resistance creates suffering. The harder we hold on, the more we feel the strain. The Buddhist lesson of acceptance teaches us to embrace life as it is, not as we wish it to be, and to find peace in that surrender. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or abandoning your dreams. It's not about resigning to a life of inaction or complacency. Instead, it's about recognizing that life is a journey full of twists, turns, and unpredictability. It means acknowledging the present moment, the joy, the pain, the uncertainty, and allowing it to exist without resistance. This openness creates space for growth, understanding, and peace. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. What are you resisting? Is it a situation that didn't go as planned? A loss that feels too heavy to bear? A mistake you can't seem to forgive? These are the winds of life, and they are inevitable. The practice of acceptance invites us to stop fighting against them and to bend like the bamboo, adapting and flowing with life's natural rhythm. How can we cultivate this kind of acceptance? It begins with mindfulness. When faced with a difficult moment, pause, take a deep breath. Instead of reacting with frustration or denial, ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? What can I learn from this experience? Often challenges carry hidden lessons about patience, resilience, or even compassion. By staying present, we open ourselves to those lessons. Compassion, both for ourselves and for others, is another cornerstone of acceptance. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and that's okay. Forgive yourself for not having all the answers. Forgive others for their mistakes. When we let go of judgment and extend kindness to ourselves and those around us, we free ourselves from the heavy burden of anger and blame. In Buddhist wisdom, acceptance is also closely tied to impermanence. Everything in life, joy, pain, success, failure, is temporary. Just as the wind doesn't blow forever, neither do our hardships last forever. When we embrace this truth, we can face life's difficulties with greater ease, knowing they too shall pass. Let me share a simple practice with you. Each morning as you wake up, take a moment to set an intention. Today, I will embrace whatever comes my way with an open heart. Throughout your day, when you feel resistance arise, pause and remind yourself of this intention. With time, acceptance becomes a natural part of your response to life. As we close, picture that bamboo grove once more. Imagine yourself as one of those resilient stalks, swaying with the winds of life but never breaking. This is the strength of acceptance. It's not about being passive. It's about being adaptable, finding stillness within movement and peace within uncertainty. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Buddhist lessons and wisdom. If this message resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need this reminder of resilience and peace. Don't forget to subscribe for more reflections on mindfulness, acceptance, and the art of living fully. Until next time, may you find strength in the winds of life and peace in the present moment. Imagine a gardener standing in a quiet field, holding a small seed in their hand. With care, they place it in the soil, cover it gently, and water it. Day after day, the gardener returns to tend to the seed, pulling weeds, watering the soil, and providing light. They know the seed won't sprout overnight, but they continue with patience, trusting that growth is happening beneath the surface. This simple act of faith and care is a powerful reminder of the Buddhist lesson of patience, a virtue that invites us to embrace life's natural rhythm and trust the unfolding process. In today's world, where instant results are celebrated, patience often feels like a forgotten art. We're conditioned to want everything now, answers, success, fulfillment. But the wisdom of patience teaches us something different. It reminds us that life, like that tiny seed, has its own timing. Growth cannot be rushed, whether it's in our relationships, personal goals, or spiritual journeys. Patience is about surrendering to the process and appreciating the beauty of each stage, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Think about your own life. Have you ever planted seeds of effort, perhaps starting a new career, working on a relationship, or pursuing a personal dream, and felt frustrated when the results didn't come as quickly as you hoped? It's in these moments that the practice of patience becomes most valuable. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that everything unfolds in its own time, and our role is not to force outcomes, but to nurture the conditions for growth. Patience is not passive, waiting. It's an active practice of showing up, tending to what matters, and letting go of the need to control every step of the journey. It's about being fully present in the process rather than fixated on the result. When we practice patience, we cultivate resilience, understanding, and a deeper connection to the present moment. How can we bring more patience into our lives? It begins with mindfulness. When you feel impatience bubbling up, whether it's waiting in traffic, facing a challenge, or feeling stuck, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that growth takes time. Instead of focusing on what's missing or what hasn't yet happened, shift your attention to what is here now. What small steps can you take today to nurture the seeds you've planted? Gratitude is another powerful ally in cultivating patience. When we take time to appreciate the progress we've already made, no matter how small, it shifts our perspective from frustration to appreciation. Each step forward, no matter how tiny, is a part of the journey. Celebrate it. In Buddhist teachings, patience is also connected to the understanding of impermanence. Just as seasons change and plants grow at their own pace, so too do our lives unfold. Trusting this natural flow can bring peace, even during times of uncertainty or delay. Patience allows us to embrace the present moment without rushing toward the future. As we reflect on this lesson, picture that gardener once more tending to the seed with care and trust. They don't dig it up to check its progress or demand that it grow faster. Instead, they nurture it with consistency and faith, knowing that in time it will sprout and flourish. In the same way, we can nurture our own lives with patience, grace, and an open heart. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the Buddhist wisdom of patience. If this message resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need this reminder. Don't forget to subscribe for more reflections on mindfulness, resilience, and the art of living fully. Until next time, may you nurture your journey with care and trust, knowing that everything blooms in its own time. Imagine walking through life with a heavy backpack strapped to your shoulders. With each step, the weight grows, filled with objects, tasks, and worries we've picked up along the way. At first, you tell yourself, "I need all of this." But as the journey continues, your steps slow, and the burden becomes unbearable. What if, instead of struggling under the load, you paused, opened the backpack, and began to let go? This is the heart of simplicity, a teaching rooted in Buddhist wisdom that invites us to shed the unnecessary and focus on what truly matters. Simplicity is not about living with less for the sake of deprivation. It's about clarity. It's about recognizing what brings true happiness and fulfillment and letting go of the distractions that cloud our lives. In a world that often glorifies more possessions, more achievements, more commitments, simplicity offers us a path back to balance, to mindfulness, and to joy. Take a moment to think about your own life. How much of what you carry, physically, emotionally, or mentally, truly serves you? Our homes fill with items we rarely use, our schedules overflow with commitments, and our minds are cluttered with worries about the past and future. This constant accumulation creates stress, pulling us further away from the peace and connection we seek. The Buddhist lesson of simplicity teaches us that by letting go of excess, we create space for what matters most: relationships, inner peace, and the beauty of the present moment. How can we embrace simplicity in our daily lives? It begins with awareness. Start by taking inventory of your surroundings and your thoughts. Look at your possessions. Are there things you hold on to out of habit, fear, or a sense of obligation? Look at your schedule. Are there activities that drain your energy without adding value? And most importantly, look at your mind. Are you carrying beliefs, regrets, or expectations that weigh you down? Once you've identified the clutter, practice letting go. This doesn't have to be dramatic or immediate. It can happen in small, meaningful steps. Donate items you no longer need. Say no to commitments that don't align with your values, and challenge the thoughts that no longer serve your well-being. Each time you release something, you create space. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Simplicity also invites us to savor the present moment. When we strip away the distractions of excess, we become more attuned to life's simple joys, the laughter of a friend, the taste of a home-cooked meal, or the quiet beauty of a sunrise. These moments, though often overlooked, are where true happiness resides. In Buddhist wisdom, simplicity is closely tied to mindfulness and gratitude. Mindfulness helps us see clearly, free from the illusions of what we think we need. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's missing to what's already here. Together, they remind us that a simpler life is not an empty one. It's a life filled with intention, meaning, and presence. As we close this reflection, I invite you to visualize setting down your backpack, opening it, and gently removing the weight you no longer need. Feel the lightness, the freedom, and the peace that comes with letting go. Simplicity isn't about giving up, it's about making space for what truly matters. Thank you for walking this path of reflection with me today. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need this reminder, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into Buddhist lessons and wisdom. Until next time, may you find joy in simplicity and peace in the present moment. Imagine a single drop of water falling into a still pond. The ripples spread outward, reaching the edges, touching everything in their path. This is the power of compassion. A small act of kindness, a smile, a kind word, or a helping hand can ripple outward, touching lives in ways we might never see. Compassion is more than an act. It's a way of being, a profound connection to our shared humanity. In Buddhist wisdom, compassion is one of the highest virtues, rooted in the understanding that we are all interconnected. When we see others suffering, we are reminded of our own struggles. When we extend kindness to another, we are in some way healing the wounds within ourselves. Compassion turns isolation into connection and suffering into understanding. It is the bridge that reminds us that we are never truly alone. True compassion begins within. So often we are hardest on ourselves, carrying guilt, shame, or the weight of perfectionism. We speak to ourselves in ways we would never speak to a friend. Yet how can we fully extend compassion to others if we neglect to offer it to ourselves? Buddhist lessons teach us that self-compassion is not selfish. It is the foundation from which all other kindness flows. By treating ourselves with understanding and care, we build the strength to show up for others with an open heart. Take a moment to reflect. How do you speak to yourself during difficult times? Do you offer yourself the same kindness you would a loved one? Practicing self-compassion means acknowledging our imperfections, not with judgment, but with acceptance. It's about holding space for our own pain and gently reminding ourselves that it's okay to be human. When we cultivate this inner compassion, something remarkable happens. We begin to see the world differently. We notice the struggles of others, not as separate from us, but as a shared experience of being alive. A stranger's sadness feels familiar. A friend's joy becomes our own. This sense of connection fuels acts of kindness, big and small, that have the power to transform lives. Compassion doesn't require grand gestures. It's found in the small moments. A smile to someone having a tough day, a listening ear to a friend, or even a silent wish for someone's happiness. These acts may seem insignificant, but they carry immense power. They ease burdens, soften hearts, and remind others that they are seen and valued. Compassion is also an antidote to suffering. When we practice compassion, we step out of the narrow focus of our own struggles and connect with something larger. Helping others doesn't diminish our resources, it replenishes them. The more kindness we give, the more our own hearts grow. It's a paradox of compassion. By lightening someone else's load, we also lighten our own. As we reflect on this lesson, let's return to the image of the ripple. Each act of compassion is like that drop of water, creating waves of goodness that extend far beyond what we can see. Imagine what the world could be if we all committed to even one small act of kindness each day. The ripples would grow into waves, transforming not just others but ourselves. Thank you for joining me in exploring the Buddhist wisdom of compassion. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to carry it forward. Practice compassion for yourself and others, and notice how it transforms your life. Share this message with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe for more reflections on Buddhist lessons and the art of living with intention. Until next time, may your heart be light and your kindness ripple outward, touching lives in beautiful and unexpected ways.